Hi, welcome to NicheCraft. My name is Kassi and I'm your host, and today I am going to teach you how to make the back panel of this super easy cardigan. You will not have any problems making this, whether you're a beginner or you're advanced. This is going to be a really easy cardigan to make. So I've already made the back panel and I already recorded the video showing you how to make this, okay? But I just wanted to show you the finished work here for the cardigan I'm making for my daughter. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about this pattern. Not only is it easy for beginners and advanced, it is using very simple V-stitch, okay? Those of you who are familiar with the V-stitch will probably be able to see those V's in there, and it works up very quickly as a result. The V-stitch is the stitch that I tell people to learn if they want to make their first blanket, because it works up so quickly, and the same is true for this cardigan. So that said, I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I will see you tomorrow with the next part of this tutorial, and this is just going to be a really easy sweater, and it's going to look stunning. So let's start that tutorial now. Hi, welcome to NicheCraft. My name is Kassi and I'm your host, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a cardigan. That's right, I'm going to teach you how to make a super easy cardigan. You're not going to need to sew at all, and this is a beginner-friendly project. So if you've never made a sweater before, this might be a good sweater to start with. Even for those who are advanced and those who have never made a sweater before, but maybe you've crocheted a lot, this is also a really great pattern for you guys, and even for advanced crocheters. So no matter where you are on your crochet journey, you should be able to make this sweater. First, I want to go over what you'll need to make this sweater. What you're going to need is 1,200 to 1,800 yards of weight 4 yarn. Now, I'm going to be using Lion Brand's Pound of Love because I have a lot of them, and my daughter has picked this color that she wants me to make for her. But you can use any kind of weight 4 yarn. I would recommend using whatever feels most comfortable for you. Now, a cardigan is typically worn over other clothes, so it doesn't necessarily have to be super soft. You do have the ability to choose to use some more durable material that might not be as soft, but might be more scratchy because it's not going to be right next to the skin. But if you're somebody who likes to wear cardigans over short sleeve shirts or over sundresses and things like that, then you're going to want to choose a yarn that is really soft. Now, some alternate yarns that I would recommend is Caron Simply Soft, Red Heart Super Saver, or just about any kind of yarn that is in one color. Now, that is something that I would definitely recommend for this. Use the same color. This is not a pattern that works very well with highly variegated yarns and multiple colors. We're just doing a simple cardigan. So in addition to the yarn, you're also going to want to use a corresponding crochet hook, whichever's comfortable for you. I've decided to use a 6mm J hook for this tutorial, and you might want some stitch markers. There is a point where I like to use stitch markers in this pattern, so I would recommend having at least a stitch marker or a piece of string that you can use, because you don't have to have a stitch marker. It's nice to have some. A measuring tape and some scissors. All right, guys, so let's get started. So before you begin, you're going to need to make your measurements first. And how you make your measurements is very simple. If you're crocheting for somebody else, you're going to have that person stand with their arms straight down and measure from one shoulder to the other shoulder, and that's completely from the outside of the shoulder to the other side of the shoulder, okay? For those of you who are crocheting this for yourselves, you'll just have to have somebody else help measure from one shoulder to the other shoulder the same way that I described. Now, to find out how long you want your cardigan to be, I would suggest starting with 22 inches, but if you want your cardigan to be extra long, I would say go ahead and measure from the top of your shoulder down and find out how many inches it is to where you'd like it to fall. If you'd like it to fall longer and land behind your legs, for example, then you might want to increase that to 26 inches, but just however long you want your cardigan to to fall, that's not going to influence this pattern. This is completely customizable, and you can even make this for a child or even an infant if you want to. Now that you have your measurements, it's time to begin. What we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot and put that on the crochet hook and tighten it. And then we are going to chain multiples of 3 until we reach the width that is the same as the measurement from one shoulder to the other shoulder. In my case, I am crocheting for my daughter. She's a teenager and she's very slim, and from one shoulder to the other is 15 inches. So I'm going to be chaining up multiples of 3, like 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, and on until this is 15 inches across. So I'm going to do that, and when I'm done, I will come back and show you what to do next. Okay, so I'm back and I have chained up a multiple of 3 until I got 15 inches. And for me, that was 54 chains. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to chain 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Now that's for the ease, plus 2, and that's for the turning chain. 1, 2. So, in other words, what you're going to need to do is chain a multiple of 3 plus 5. All right, since I'm working with a darker yarn, I want to make sure that you can see this really well. So I've zoomed in so that I can point out to you where to go into the first stitch. So you're going to want to go into the 3rd chain from the hook. Okay, so we've got the chain that's on the hook. Okay, then we have 1, and then we have 2, and you're going to want to go into that 3rd chain right there. So when you go into that 3rd chain from the hook, what I want you to do is put a double crochet right there. And the way you do that is that you yarn over, you put your crochet hook into that chain, you pull a loop up, and now you have 3 chains on your hook. Then you pull through 2, and then you pull through 2 again, and that is a single crochet. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to skip 2 spaces. Skip, skip. And then you're going to make a V-stitch. That's a double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet. Next, we are going to skip 2 and make another V-stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We are going to continue this pattern of V-stitches all the way across until we get to the other side. I'll meet you back up there when I'm there. Hi, so before I continue, I want to turn on my neck lamp so that it is easier for you guys to see this dark yarn. All right, so I have put a V-stitch all the way across until I've come to this last part right here, and I have 2 more chains left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over and put just 1 double crochet at the end of this chain. And that way we have a double crochet on one end, and then we have a double crochet on the other end. And it's important that we frame our V-stitches with a double crochet on each side because that's important for the structure of the rest of the cardigan. Now that we've reached the end of row 1, we're ready for row 2. How we begin row 2 is by chaining up 2, 1, 2, and turning. So this chain 2 right here is going to count as the double crochet for this side. All right, it's just stacked right on top of there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to yarn over and put a V-stitch in the V-stitch from the row before. And what I mean is that I'm going to put my hook underneath this chain space like this, and I'm going to pull up a loop, and there's my first double crochet. All right, now I am going to chain 1 and then put another double crochet in that chain space again. That way we have that V-stitch from the row before, and then in this row we've got a V-stitch right on top of it. All right, so to complete row 2, we're going to go ahead and continue to put a V-stitch in every single V-stitch until we get to the very end, and then we are going to put a double crochet in that last double crochet. I will see you when I get there. All right, so I have put a V-stitch in the V-stitch in this second row, and I am to the very beginning of the first row here. And I just wanted to show you that what we do now is just like before. We're going to put a double crochet stitch. Here, let me find that. There it is. So here's the stitch. So we're going to be putting a double crochet stitch, just one, at the very end of that second row. All right. Now, all we're going to do is repeat row 2 until we get to the length that we want. Since I want my daughter's cardigan to be somewhere around 23 or 24 inches long, I'm going to continue to go back and forth with this V-stitch until this measures probably 24 inches. And as you can see, I have a ways to go, but this really works up pretty fast. So let me just go ahead and get you started on row 3. It's just a repeat of row 2, but it's just going to be the same thing over and over. But basically, I just want to make sure that you are confident with this as we're making this back panel of our cardigan. So for row 3, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Next, we are going to put a V-stitch into the V-stitch from the row before. Remember, chaining 2, that's going to be our double crochet right there, or it's going to be the equivalent of a double crochet right there. So yarn over and put a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that first V-stitch, just like so, and continue to crochet a V-stitch into every single V-stitch all the way across until you get to the end. Then you'll make 1 double crochet, and then you'll do it over again, over and over until it is the length that you want it to be. So that ends part 1 of how to make a cardigan. And when I get done with this back panel here, and when it gets to 24 inches, then I will come back and I will make another video showing you guys how to make the 2 front panels. The next video should post not tomorrow, but the next day, and you should be able to find this cardigan very, very easy to make, and it will work up super quickly. For those of you who'd rather wait until the entire tutorial is finished, just know that when I'm done with every single part of the cardigan, then I'm going to put all of the parts together and release one whole video, just like I did when I made the easiest crochet sweater you could ever make video, which I'll link in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Be sure to like, and if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe so you can complete this project with me. I'll see you soon in another video. Bye!